What's going on, y'all? Thank you for checking in with Callie. Please like, subscribe if you haven't already. So the season is pretty much down to the end. There's not much left in the season at all, but there's a lot to play for every team pretty much, for pride and or for positioning in the standings. And as for the Clippers, the downright truth is they're going to have to find a way to, see if Kawhi can play damn near the rest of the games of the season. They got two more back-to-backs. He didn't play against the Cleveland Cavaliers the other night, but that is one of those losses where it's like, yeah, you can probably expect them to possibly lose that game, but with Kawhi, they can possibly win a game like that, just as they did a few weeks ago, and beat them. So you can't – they got two more back-to-back games. I think they got one coming up next week with Dallas Mavericks. They play them twice, basically in back-to-back days, or it's either the Dallas Mavericks and Dallas Mavericks in back-to-back days, I believe, and they got another one where they play the Spurs and then the Houston Rockets on back-to-back days. Those two back-to-backs, even if the Clippers won all the other games and hypothetically the Timberwolves and the Warriors won their games, the Clippers will be in the 8th seed. They'll be in the play-in tournament. And honestly, the Clippers really can't afford to be in the play-in tournament as much as people think, even though they're a dangerous team, because you got to worry about Kawhi's health. You got to give him a little bit of rest before the playoffs start. That would be the best thing to do. So those two back-to-back games, this was the front end of the back-to-back games between the Cavaliers and Orlando. Those two games on the back, those two back-to-back situations on the back end of their schedule is very crucial, because if they lose, let's say, 2 out of 4 of those games, it could really hurt their chances in regards to being in the playoffs or the play-in tournament, because right now they lost last night against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Timberwolves and the Warriors won. So right now, currently, the Clippers are in the 8th seed. It's just that close, and that's what I'm saying. With it being that close of games within one game, half a game here and there, within the standings of whether you make the playoffs or the play-in tournament, the Clippers need all these games. They really do. So, the fact that Kawhi is in and out the lineup, or he's not really cleared to play back-to-backs, I get it. But, honestly, if I were the Clippers, I'd have to take a chance and go for it all and have Kawhi in there on back-to-back games, at least the upcoming ones, because, you got to give Kawhi that rest before the playoff starts. If you're banking on him just going out there playing the play-in tournament and then go from the play-in tournament all the way to the finals, if they're able to make it that far, on his knees, if he's able to sustain and if the team can hold up that much, then that's a hell of a request from a player who hasn't been able to do it when you've been in playoff contention. Not saying Kawhi isn't capable of anything like that, because, I believe he can hold up, but it's just very, very questionable based upon his health history over the last 5-6 seasons. So, you got to kind of pick and choose your battles here if you're the Clippers. I understand you want them healthy for the playoffs or play-in tournament if that's where y'all going to land at. But if you can kind of get enough out of him so you can get into the playoffs without being in the play-in tournament, to me, that's a lot better, because it gives him a little bit more rest. And he's going to have to play some of those back-to-backs. He's going to have to, because I'm pretty sure the Clippers are going to fall in one of those games, because when you're playing with your superstar 1 minute and then he stays out the next game or come back, when you flip-flop like that in and out the lineup, it throws off their chemistry. Now, Norman Powell may step up and score more points, but his points don't have the same value as a Kawhi Leonard, because Kawhi's points are different. He can drop 30 points, but also have 3 or 4 crucial steals, also have more rebounds, and maybe just about the same amount of assists or more himself. Kawhi is an impactful player, so Norman Powell can drop the same amount of points, but it won't have the same impact as Kawhi, because Kawhi is just that dominant of a player and he's a superstar. Norman Powell is a role player, so you see the difference there. Plus, you got to look at, like I said before, if the back-to-backs are on the back end of your schedule, at the end of the season, the very last game or one of the last games they do play on this crucial schedule they have, they play the Warriors. So, those back-to-back games, those back-to-backs are going to be crucial, because if you win most of those, the Warriors might possibly be in a loss a few in between, to where hypothetically, if you lose to them, at that time, maybe you don't need to play Kawhi because you didn't had enough of a lead in the standings to where even if they beat you, you still will be able to get that 6th seed or move up a little bit more. You see what I mean? So those back-to-backs that's up and coming, Kawhi's going to have to play one or really all of them, honestly. If I were the Clippers, I would definitely consider that because, I mean, you want to be in the playoffs rather than the play-in to me because it gives everybody time to rest a little bit before the playoffs actually start. And a superstar that you have that's been ailing with injuries, you definitely want to better your chances of getting him a little bit of rest before the playoffs have to start, even though the Clippers are pretty much playing playoff games right now.